Uh, is there a reason?
Yikes, looks like somebody has trouble respecting boundaries. Let's get to the next clip. More on that later.
Hello?
Hey, is this Nick?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning. I'm moving 92.5. You got a second?
What's going on, man?
Not much. You went out with a girl named Mackenzie. You blew her off, and she wants to know why.
Mackenzie, how long ago was this?
Nick, you planted a tree with Mackenzie. It was your first date tree. How could you forget Mackenzie? Is that like your go-to?
Yeah. There's more than a few first date trees.
Nick, you dog!
First State Forest.
The people at Home Depot know
man.
you. Like when you come in, they're like, this guy.
Another one. All right, Nick, I guess that answers our question then. Yeah, you went out with a girl named Mackenzie, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, planted a first date tree with her, ended up hooking up.
Yeah, no, okay. I get it now. I remember.
Is the tree just...
She was great. It was fun, but, things happened very fast with Mackenzie, and at the end of the day, that's what I was looking for. And
I ain't gonna lie, my man is a menace.
I never fail to be reminded how much I hate men. So I have a guy friend that we hung out last weekend. We've known each other for a really long time. We've hung out a lot. And he asked me earlier this week, what are you doing for Super Bowl? And I was like, oh, when is Super Bowl? He was like, it's Sunday. I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, yeah, let's do something. I was like, okay, cool. So then yesterday I texted him and I was like, hey, like, what's the plan? Blah, blah, blah. And then he said, oh, we're just going to go like bar hopping around some sports bars in St. Pete. I was like, okay, that sounds great. We continued texting a little bit, all this stuff. And then so this morning around like 10 or so, I texted him and I was like, hey, like, what time are we going today? So I like know how to plan my day. And he was like, okay, I got to run a few errands. So probably around 3 or 4. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I go to the gym, I start getting ready because it takes me forever to get ready. And I'm just like slowly getting ready. And then it's like 3, and then 3:30, and then 4. So I'm like, what the fuck? So at 4:30, I go back up and I just like react to the text that he sent me that said 3 or 4. He never replied. So then at 5, I texted him and I was like, bro, what the f-? And he didn't answer. He didn't reply. So then about 5:15, I called him and he didn't answer. And I'm so like, because I already obviously got ready and everything. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I just moved here, so I don't have a whole lot of friends that should just call and be like, hey, like, let's go do something. So me and my dog just showed up at the dog bar and we're about to have us a good old time. BB, you ready to go? We're about to have a good old time at the dog park, and men, I hate them. I never fail to be reminded how much I hate men. If y'all saw that video of me talking pure about the man that I thought ghosted me. Bitch, I was pissed. I was like, this had better have been dead to ghost me, because I've known this man for years. Like, we've hung out many times. Like, we've traveled across the country to see each other. So I'm like, this man ghosted me is crazy. He better be dead. No, he wasn't dead, but he was arrested. Somebody stole a car that looked like his car, and so they thought that he had stolen his own car somehow. Anyways, he got accused of stealing a car, so it was... I was pissed. I was going off about this man ghosting me, and he didn't even ghost me. Like, he's like, I'm sorry, don't hate me, I'll make it up to you. And I'm like, you got a lot to make it up to do, because I was pissed.
Would have been nice if I never saw this video, because you never posted it and you got a clear understanding of what actually happened. But of course, with a lot of modern women, they try to blast you before trying to read the room, read the situation, and before receiving effective communication. So there's that.
I'm gonna be honest. Why when women say I'm living my best life, they always go and do some shit? Why is the best you could do is be a...
How do I, 25 female, repair my relationship with my boyfriend, 25 male, and his family after what I suggested to his sister, 19 female? So I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, who we'll call G, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings, M, 23 male, A, 21 male, and T, 19 female. All of them are still in college and still live at home with their mom, 55 female, and dad, 55 male, while my boyfriend and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting first-class tickets, a high-end hotel, etc. One night, G and I were supposed to have dinner with his family while we were at their house, and T mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. As this is an anniversary trip for her parents, I suggested to T that she could do her parents a solid and maybe stay back home and out of their hair to give her parents some time away from their kids this summer. Or she could maybe pay her own way so her parents could save money. T asked why she should give up a trip to France, and I told her it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. I kept trying to tell her how nice it would be and how her parents would probably thank her for giving them space, and at some point M interrupted us and told me to stop meddling into family affairs and that I was overstepping, and to either apologize for pressuring T or to leave the house. I told them I didn't mean to make anybody upset, but when their dad came into the room and asked them what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave the house and said I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was making a problem and pressuring T to solve it. Me and G went back to our apartment and we haven't been speaking. Where do I go from here? And then there's an edit and an update. Info, the others are invited, but they're older, so I assume they can just go do their own thing. Info, I'm not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that T starts making her money on her own so that she can value it more. She's used to getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for, not to mention how much products she buys for her hair and sanitary products. But top comment, not sure why you're pressed on the topic so much. You assume the parents want the alone time, but seems like they don't. You try too hard to make your point valid. And then somebody else said, parents of young kids crave quality time alone. Parents of adult kids crave quality time with all of their family present because it doesn't happen so as often.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
So your assumption was wrong. Secondly, if they have booked and planned this for their anniversary, this is obviously what they want. Thirdly, if they can afford first-class tickets with their family, money's not an issue. I'm not sure how you can repair this because not only have you offended his family, but you didn't even seem to recognize that you
Well, I see where you were going. You felt like she was spoiled, so that's probably a little bit of what got in the way. But at their 30th wedding anniversary or anniversary, whatever it is, they've probably been planning something like this for a long, long time. And like it said, they're probably in their, I'd put them at 60, maybe, probably 60. And at that point in time, all of us are grown. Our kids are grown. Let's go ahead and celebrate. Let's do a family trip in France. That's monumental. So when you're saying to one of their kids, probably their baby or whoever it is, stay home, that's going to be offensive. I think the best thing that you can probably do at this point in time is come to them and really mean it. But it doesn't sound like you are really apologetic. But you can apologize and say, I just want to let you know I really didn't mean all that. I thought I was helping, but I see that was really, really dumb of me. And just sit there. And if they ask you to, okay, well, I appreciate that. But like I said, we really like you to leave. And then you leave and you don't get no attitude. But if they start kind of venting or going through their emotions, you don't have to sit there and let them holler and scream at you. But if they're telling you and explaining to you why they were so upset, you don't say anything. You don't try to defend yourself. You sit there and be quiet. That's it. That's at this point in time, that's really the only way that I see.
Last night, me and G had a long and serious talk about my comments at the dinner, along with some of my past comments. He told me while in my family, refusing a free trip when you are invited may be seen as noble. In his family, refusing a free trip is seen as stupid. In my family, if someone offers to pay for you, you should always decline no matter what. My parents made me work all throughout high school and always told me that I'd have to get a scholarship to help pay for college because they weren't going to do it. It is also a courtesy in my family to not expect help with finances no matter how tough it may get, to only eat one serving at dinner gatherings, to always pay your own way, and we often voice our own opinions no matter what they are. He then went into discussing the trip to France. His mother has extended family who live there, so this will not be the first or last time they all go. It will be the first time they explore the area where they are, so even if T wasn't old enough to go off on her own, or didn't know her way around or the language, she'd be fine. And if his mom and dad wanted some alone time, she'd just be fine on her own. And if they didn't, they have family there. When me and G first started dating, we were also talking about our family history. He told me about how his maternal great-grandparents moved to America from France. I was under the impression that everyone from his mother's extended family moved, not just the great-great-grandparents and their children. Apparently, his mother thought my behavior was because I didn't feel welcome by them, and the dinner was to invite me on the trip to France as a sort of peace offering. However, after his father caught me trying to sway T, he had enough and decided he couldn't take it anymore. No matter what his wife says, he will not tolerate me being around the rest of the family or in their home any longer. This came as a shock to the family, as his dad doesn't speak much and is usually calm and composed.
Dang.
It's usually the father.
Dang. Dang, he don't say nothing. He finally snapped. That's crazy to push a dad to snap.
Oh no, that's not good.
Old school dad? Oh.
That's like your dad, like, get out. That'd be crazy.
I'd be scared of Brandon's dad told me to get out.
Oh my, if he did that, that'd be wild.
My boyfriend also showed me his photos from his parents' wedding. It looked like one of the most fairy tale weddings I'd ever seen. It was held in Chateau Chalane, and he explained how they plan on renting the space again and flying all of their extended family out to celebrate with them because they want to celebrate with everybody and will take time for themselves later on in the summer. I also teared up listening to how his parents met. After graduating high school, his mother spent the summer in France with her family while his dad was also visiting along with his older brother. His dad had struggled with cancer nearly his entire life up to that point, and it was supposed to be his dad's last trip before he let himself go because he was too tired of it all. One morning, while eating alone at a cafe, he recognized her as the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, who spent her time helping out her family with their restaurant, running it like it was the Navy, someone who wasn't afraid to call customers out when they were being unreasonable or just downright rude, and someone who knew exactly what she wanted and how to get it. The complete opposite of him. They spent the day together, which inspired his father to continue his cancer treatments, accomplish his goals, and start taking life more seriously so he could be by her side for as long as she could be with him. His parents also told him and his siblings the only things in life they value more than each other are their children, and they want to make sure if life gets hard for them, they have something to fall back on. He told me he'd be moving back in with his parents until he finds a new apartment. He also revoked my invitation to their family Christmas trip to Aspen, which we were supposed to be leaving for tonight. I feel like I'm in a Darman video right now. What the On another note, friends saw my initial post and gave me an intervention. I will be attending therapy for the foreseeable future. May update when I unpack what's wrong with me. And then there's a little bit more edits for info. People seem to be confused. When I say his father recognized his mother in France, I mean that literally, as they are from the same hometown. Some people also think I'm saying love cured his father's cancer. I was told that it was what made him continue treatment. That is all I was told. I've also gotten comments about the years of the Chateau Chalane becoming a wedding venue and the wedding not making sense. Unless I'm misremembering something, I remember him saying they were married there. Maybe I'm mixing up locations when he was talking about the wedding venue and the wedding anniversary venue. And then top comment, your parents have shaped you to see the world as a dog-eat-dog world. And then another one, worse, the whole thing where you were always supposed to decline a nice thing when it is offered to you is some manipulative sabotaging. And then somebody else said, unfortunately, there are families like this. She just had a big lesson on how her normal family isn't so normal.
Yeah, this just sounds like a cultural thing. I think you were trying to do the right thing, or what you felt was right. I think you just overstepped. I think after listening to it, I think it might have been a little bit too aggressive. That's just my opinion on it. Because she said she was sorry. Okay, so I went back and listened to it. I was right around, I couldn't remember what age they were, but they're 55. I said somewhere around 60, so that tracks. Somebody trying to do something big like this, they want to make it a big, huge thing. So they're extremely family oriented. And sometimes that's not always a good thing, because when you get in environments like this, and even the dudes sometimes, definitely the women, but sometimes the dudes, they follow the cadence of the family. So much so that sometimes they don't break off and become their own person. It's like the family, even if you're in another household, you're moving as one unit. So sometimes that messes up like what you want to do. Like, say if you get married, if I marry somebody like that, then I might say, man, I want to take a trip to New York and I want to do it June the 1st. Oh, well, that's always a time that we go do X, Y, and Z with the family. And that's not really all that important. You know what I mean? It's just a family tradition. It's not really that important. And you would be tempted to say, well, why don't you just do it another time? Cool. So we move that trip later on or whenever so we can be there for the family thing on June the 1st. It's going to come a time to where you want to do something on another holiday or another vacation, and it's going to be another family tradition that pops up. Does that make any sense? So I think over and over again, I think I understand what you were trying to do, but I think ultimately in that situation, you need to leave. Probably because it's going to take somebody in that family that's not really all that outspoken. And outspoken doesn't have to mean, well, I do this, and this. It's going to take somebody that just kind of goes with the flow. Oh, that's what you guys doing? Okay, yeah, cool. All right, hey, man, I'm there. I love it. And they'll thrive in that environment. But y'all are on two different wavelengths, just two different backgrounds. I do think for that environment, you did overstep, just because that's the way they run their household, right? It'd be the same way if you allowed somebody to walk in your house and they walk to your refrigerator. Now, I know I understand that people, it's like, that's a no-no, but I'm just giving an example. Somebody walk, oh, we don't mind. We were always taught to share our food. That's the way we did it. But in somebody else's house, the way they run it is like, no, man, you got to ask to come to get in my refrigerator. Man, don't do that, right? It's just a different way that they live life. So I think you might want to find somebody else, if that makes any sense. But that's just my opinion there.
Would you rather cheat on your girl or snitch on the homies?
All my homies going to prison.
All the homies are going to prison.
Stop the cap.
Asking cute guy at Dutch for his snap.
Hey, excuse me. Yo, I'm sorry. I just want to say I think you're cute. I was wondering if I can get your Snapchat.
No.
Is there a reason? Just
Not interested.
okay. Sorry about that.
Let's read some comments here. Kyle says, imagine if a guy asked a girl, is there a reason? Bruh said, why does there have to be a reason? The question, is there a reason, is interesting. It is, because modern women just say no should mean no, and no, get this, watch this, is a complete sentence. Imagine that. Now, when a guy says no, it's got to have a reason behind it. Modern women change the rules whenever they feel like it.